All right, this is Robin the Generous Stitcher. I wanted to make sure my ticker was advancing. And tonight it is January 13th, and I sometimes film things out of sequence, so the thing I filmed at lunch today, you're going to see a bit later. But this is my Flosstube channel about cross stitch, and if you're seeing me for the first time, like, comment, share, hype me if that is an option, subscribe. I have a tiny channel, and I'm not on any, gosh, that's really, sorry, that just has a glare I don't like. So I'm not on any other social media besides YouTube and Discord, and I'm not going to be. I just don't have a need for that. And so anyway, let's see. I'm going to do a couple things different tonight. I am going to show my whips later, and but I wanted to talk about, let's see, I don't have a finish yet for this month, a second finish actually. I showed the first finish in a bonus video on the second, and now it's the 13th, and I'm kind of getting tired of the pattern, as I'll explain later when I show my whips. But I'm going to continue. I'm getting close to finishing it, and I really want to finish that thing. And it's been on my whip list since 2023, and I want to get it off and make room for other things that I would enjoy stitching on more. So so I'm going to be, I have my little document camera here, and I'm going to be transitioning to that when I next stop this video, and then I'll go back to being on the camera for the end of my Flosstube. And I keep bumping the table. That probably jiggled the tripod a little bit, and my lamp is jiggling. So all right, so let's get into this, because you're here to watch cross stitch, and I do have some whips, and I want to talk about some of what I'm doing this month, which is a little different than what I've done in the past. I am not one for trying to gamify my cross stitch, because I have, I organize things with a spreadsheet, and these things in the reddish color are things that have deadlines. And some of those deadlines are more aspirational than real, but so because the things in pink are gifts, and so those are things that kind of do have deadlines, or more hopeful deadlines, and some are real deadlines, especially the smalls. And I realized last week that I had not put a blank on here for the thing I was going to do for Pinwhist, and I have another whip that I was thinking I was going to do for Pinwhist, but given I have a patriotic pattern that I also wanted to do that's a small, and I was thinking, yeah, maybe I should switch that up and put it in here, because, you know, the 250th anniversary of our country. And so anyway, I watch Stitching by the Shore, and that's Laura's channel, and she does this game called I Spy, and that's where you assign, she gives prompts every month, and then you look at your whips and you see which of your whips fit those prompts. And so now I'm going to switch to the document camera and show you her prompts for this month, and show you how my spreadsheet and current whips match up with that. All right. Last time I started filming this, it cut me off at 5 seconds. So hopefully, if I I'm going to expand this, and it didn't cut me off. Good. I think that's what happened last time. All right, so I am doing Laura's channel, Stitching by the Shore. She has her I Spy prompts that she releases each month, and she has 10 prompts. And so for January, her prompts are number 1 is a project that you dream of finishing in 2026. Number 2 is a project that you've seen another stitcher stitch on either Flosstube or Instagram. Number 3 is something that starts with the letter A. And number 4 is something that has been made into a Lego shape. Number 5 is having a new start or working on your newest start. Number 6 is a color that starts with the letter B. Number 7 is something found in flavored tea, and that was really one of the most toughest challenge for me and my whips. Number 8, a project that you have intentions of finishing in 2026. Number 9 is a project somehow related to Australia. Number 10 is a project whose overall picture would make a good jigsaw puzzle, and I had several of those. So let me go to the first thing I did was I went to my big spreadsheet of whips, and I basically thought, well, hey, castles have probably been made into Legos, and count me correct, I'm doing a flower. They have flowers in Legos because I've seen people's completed Lego flowers. And Christmas narwhal, okay? There's a lot of different whale patterns that they've done. They have done the Starship Enterprise, which is a ornament in the Out There series by Heartstring Samplery. And so I basically went through the whips and kind of tried to keep track, but that was sort of confusing. So then I added to this and made a little spreadsheet for January. And sorry, I gotta make sure everything's in the video and focused. So a project that I dream of finishing, of course, you know, if you've watched me, Purple Pansy Angel, which is PPA, My Neighbor Totoro. Those are both gifts that I've been working on. The Purple Pansy Angel I started in March of 2023, so I really would like to finish it. And Totoro has been technically challenging because it's on black Lugana and 32 count, but it seems, I think it may have shrunk because it seems that those holes are really, really small. And so I have tried all the tricks, and I finally bought a light box to work with that I haven't tried yet, but I'm going to this month. And then, of course, One Snowman's Family, that's by Raspberry Patch Designs. The Purple Pansy Angel is a Janlin kit from the mid-90s. My Neighbor Totoro is by a defunct Etsy shop. And then a project that you've seen other stitchers stitch, either on Flosstube or Instagram. My friend Tammy from Woodland Stitching Studios completed The Snuggle is Real, and that's by Bothy Threads. You'll see my progress on that in my whip progress in a little bit. It's a great piece. I love it, and it's really fun to stitch on, even though it's got a lot of color changes and confetti. It makes me relaxed when I'm doing it. And then Halloween Cat is a little less relaxing, but it's going to be a fun portrait of Max and Willow and one of my previous cats in Satsuma Street's Halloween Cat. And I haven't stitched on that yet this month, but something that starts with the letter A, I have Gathering of Acorns and Acorns and Friends. That 2 over here, I was trying to count how many whips were like in each category, and then I ended up doing that over on the side, and so ignore that too. So it's something that starts with the letter A. The title, these pattern names have the letter A in them. They also have acorns in them. So those are both things with A's. And something that has been made into a Lego shape. So I thought of the castle. I thought of Count Me Correct because it's a flower. I thought of the Christmas narwhal when I started searching different things that are Lego kits. Out there has the Constitution class Enterprise. Well, it could also be a next gen. I forget what, Enterprise D. And then Flamingo is a Halloween pattern that shows a flamingo sort of as a zombie. And I suspect there are Lego flamingos out there. Fish ships has a lot of different, like sharks and whales and boats, and I know all three of those things have been Legos. And I hadn't even thought of fish and ships. And also fish and ships could go into the next one. So I pulled it out just a couple nights ago and added to the whole kit and caboodle here. Number 5 is your new or newest start, which is Kitty Calendar, which is a October calendar page. And then a color that starts with the letter B is Fish and Ships, because it's on Pacific Blue Metallic, which is a bright blue, I think it's, I can't remember if it's Lugana or linen, but it's got a metallic fleck in it too. And Wee Santa has blue in Santa's costume, and then the crystal ball is mostly black, and Festive Forest is on a mottled blue fabric. And also Festive Forest has flowers in it, which are burgundy. So that's a different color than blue, black, brown, like you might think. And then something found in flavored tea. That was really tough because, okay, I've got cat patterns, I've got fish patterns, I've got, you know, acorn patterns, and I've got other things that aren't edible that I'm stitching. So the first thing I thought of was the rose cell, because you can put rose hips in tea, or rose water or something like that. And then I also thought, wait a minute, people also like to put violet, you know, like maybe I was thinking more of lavender flavoring, but maybe violet flavoring could go in there too. That's sort of I'm not sure about. And that's number 7. And then number 8 is a project that you have intentions of finishing in 2026. RWT is Red, White, and True, which is a Bigfoot on the 4th of July pattern from Sambry Stitches. And that was my first finish on January 2nd that was shown in my bonus Flosstube, which last came out like on around January 2nd. And so it did have a large brown Bigfoot in it, so that could have gone with the color B that starts with B. But I put it in the intentions of finishing because I was really close to a finish. I knew it was going to be finished this month. And the Wee Santa 2023 is, I hope, going to be finished this month. I want it to be. I'm going to be going to Acorns and Threads the next 2 Saturdays, and I want to leave it there to be framed. So I really want to finish it, even though I'm getting so bored with it. And then the Kitty Calendar October page is something that's small and it's easy, and it's something that I pick up when I'm tired of stitching other things. So that is something I really intend to finish this year, because it's small and I'm going to do it. So a project that somehow is related to Australia is Gathering of Acorns, because that pattern is by Fox and Rabbit, and that's connected to Australia. And then a project whose overall picture would make a good jigsaw puzzle is Kitty Reflections, which is a Dimensions Gold Petites pattern, the Purple Pansy Angel again, My Neighbor Totoro again, and Little Violet is very much multicolor, sort of impressionist. It would make a great jigsaw puzzle. And so those were my whips, and as you see, I mean, I have 27 whips right now. I've had 28 when I started on January 1st, and then Red, White, and True got taken off the whip page and into the finish page. So I'm down to 27, and so that would be, 20 whips out of 27, and I had 21 out of 28. So so this is really a good device, at least this month, for touching a lot of your whips during the same month. And that was something I really enjoyed when I did my Thanksgiving whip parade, and I told myself, you're going to touch all of your whips, or as many as humanly possible, before you do your whip parade in November. And I'd finished some gifts and some things like right at the beginning of the month, so I was able to do that. And this would just be a good, fun way to continue to touch all those things. Now, have I made good progress? It's almost the middle of the month. No, I haven't made good progress. But that's because I've been focusing on that stupid Santa, which you're going to see in a few minutes. But, then I can touch the other ones, put a few stitches in, update my spreadsheet. And, my spreadsheet is pretty messy because I see all these dates that are the 11th. I haven't updated my spreadsheet since November, and I have a bunch of things at the bottom of my spreadsheet, like the Acorn Gathering mini retreat, which I don't know what it is yet. We don't know until we walk in the door on Saturday the 25th of January. And so there are a bunch of things, and also Red, White, and True is still on here. The Christmas pears are still on there. Those both are off of the spreadsheet on my computer. So what my plan is that I'm going to print out a new updated spreadsheet when that stupid Wee Santa, which is right there, when it comes off, then I'm going to print myself a new spreadsheet, update all my steps updated always on my computer every day. So but anyway, so this is just, it's a fun way to try and touch all your whips. Depending on her prompts, it may not work for all of your whips that great every month, but I was really surprised at how many whips that I could fit into these prompts. And Laura, wants people to have fun. She doesn't want cross stitch to be a chore. And she has said herself and used the term, which I love, loosey-goosey. So this is a loosey-goosey way of touching your whips and having fun with your cross stitch. All right, so now I'm going to go to the regular camera view, and you're going to see the whips that I've worked on. All right, this is the whip portion, and sorry, I've got like a glare, but then there's a white dot over it, so I'm kind of like looking funny at that side of the camera. I will try to focus on that side of the camera. So anyway, I've explained the prompts for I Spy, which is from Stitching by the Shore, Laura's channel. And so this Wee Santa is 2 of the prompts. This is the prompt for, I'm thinking, do I have the list of prompts? Well, no, I don't have it. I kind of have it in front of me, but I realized I made a mistake with the prompt. So not on what I just showed you, but on when I was writing by hand earlier this month. So this is Wee Santa 2023, Heart and Hand Design, and I'm stitching it on some Witchell Perman linen, which is ivory, and I am getting really sick of this pattern, to be honest. I bought it thinking it would be a small thing. It looked kind of easy. It is easy, but the linen, I'm just not liking the linen. And I actually purchased the linen for another. I actually purchased not this color, but the same brand of linen for another project, and I'm basically gonna just regift it or put it on a free table because I don't like it. It is really stiff, and it doesn't matter how much you work with your hands with it, it just gets wrinkly and not not soft. See, that's wrinkly, but it's still like really stiff. I mean, it's like it just stays folded, you know. So anyway, this is Wee Santa. Good, you can kind of see the stitches there. So I've got most of the Santa. I did mess up a little on his collar, but I don't care. I made it symmetrical. I need to finish the undershirt here. I need to finish the cuff over here, and I need to finish Santa's beard and head, which I did mess up with the counting, so the flower is touching his beard, but oh well. No one will care. And I did start one of the other flowers over here. So I wanted to get this done. Gosh, I wanted to get this done by last weekend. It is not happening. Uh-oh. Like, the needle is not on. Oh, I'm gonna have to find the needle. I hate when that happens, but normally I have it stuck into the fabric. So anyway, it could be in the project bag. So that's Wee Santa. This is the one that I've had the most progress on. It is the prompts for something you intend to finish this year. I intend to finish this before the end of the month, and which is January. It's January 13th today. I had to think about my calendar, and it also fits the prompt for color that starts with a B, because like I just showed, he has blue on his jacket, especially the collar and the cuffs, and then he has a blue hat. So I thought, okay, that fits. And then the next whip, one of the prompts is do a new start or work on your newest start. And so I started this on December 30th, I think. And so this is Val's Stitching Stuff Kitty Calendar. It's an older chart. I don't know how available they are, if they're out of print. And this is October. I did April, which is on the fabric still, because I haven't cut it off yet, because I was going to do a third one over here, and then just cut them and give them to the finisher, or maybe just give the whole thing to the finisher and say, please cut them out and give me the scrap of material back, because I have another half of it on the other side. And this is Lugana from Zweigart. It's Wildberry 32 count. So anyway, I've got the border done, and I'm working on the bottom of the cat. And down below this cat, if I can, right here will be the word October. And it'll be a little bit different spacing, which I thought was sort of odd. I thought they would have similar spacing, but they do not, and that's okay. It was sort of just unexpected for me. So, and this pattern I got from Just Keep Stitching from one of their giveaways, and it came with the little buttons. So I have all 12. It came in a lovely project bag, which I will put into service when I get done with all these calendars. So, and this is something that's going to go in my cat bathroom. So it's going to be years down the road before I finish this. I'm hoping I'm going to finish maybe 3 per year or so. It's a really easy pattern, so it's good to have it just to, if you get frustrated with something, then you pick up the kitty calendar and just stitch. You know, simple, lots of color completion, nothing that's too complicated. All right, and I'm just trying to get off the picture here. So Bothy Threads, the snuggle is real. This is the prompt for something that you have seen other floss tubers do. And my friend Tammy, Woodland Stitching Studio, did this the year before last, maybe. I think so. I think it was 24, and finished it. And so I started it. This is the heel of the slipper, and the part that I got done was this filling in this lighter color, starting here and moving across the body of the slipper. This is still slipper. It's not the kitten yet. So this is a pretty, even though this is kind of confetti heavy, it's a relaxing piece to stitch. It is on 32 count mint splash Lugana, and yeah, I was just thinking, I don't remember the thread count for the wee Santa, but it could be 28 as far as I know. I've never paid attention to it. I don't have the package for it anymore. But this mint splash matches my bathroom wallpaper, so that's why I picked it. Also, it is a light color with little dots of white. The called for is a sort of white or cream, white or cream color with little black, or not black, brown dots. And so it's also kind of a splash too, but I liked my idea for the colors in my bathroom. So, and yeah, so those are the 3 whips I've worked on since January 2nd for the last 11 days or so. And so anyway, that's all for whips. Thanks. So this is the special project portion. The Salem Area Stitchers, we had been talking about what things we might be doing for 2025 and beyond, and one of our members wanted to make a scrapbook of things like whips or finishes, and then at the end of the year we could create this collection of photos of those pieces, and from everyone in the group, or well, whoever wanted to participate, which our group's pretty enthusiastic. A lot of people probably will participate. And so then we could put it into a scrapbook, and then we could, like, with like Shutterfly or something, and we could each purchase a copy of it if we wanted to at the end of the year. And I document what I do anyway with Flosstube and making photos that I show on my channel. So I don't feel the need to document for myself, but it would be nice to see my friends' finishes, because some of them are just really fun, or they're things that I'm working on, so I can see what it's supposed to look like. So that was one thing. The second thing was the friend that wanted to do this stuff. She is a sampler stitcher and she worked on some things that took years, and she and one of her closest stitch friends, they had a goal of doing a page a month or a couple pages a month of this large reproductive sampler, and so they've been doing that and having kind of holding each other accountable, and then that was fun. And they showed a lot. They had a lot of progress on the projects that they worked together on, and it was really like sorry, the thing is kind of glaring still. I thought I had it in the right corner. And so they had a lot of encouragement, and they showed a lot of progress when they did this, and so they wanted to do it with the group, so that if we had a large project that we were working on, that we could come in the group and get encouragement, troubleshoot things if you need to. So I have one or two. I actually told them one of my projects, but I might bring this other one that needs to be finished sooner than that one. But then I'll have another one when the first big ass project gets done. So yeah, so one or two things to bring. And next week is our project. This last week was the photo day, and I already submitted some photos through text messages, but because I zoomed. But this next time I will be in person. So so anyway, the third special project, these dedicated Thursdays of stitching, is she had suggested at one point, like when Nashville happened in 2025, the Jeannette Douglas stitching album. And sorry for the glare. Yeah, that's just going to be glary. That's better. So this had been published in 2008, and a bunch of people have stitched it, and then it was reissued for the national release in 2025. And then I knew at the time and had heard and been told that it was going to be republished 6 months later. And so I spent a lot at Nashville 2025 because I kind of go crazy at Nashville. It's a problem. So I decided, well, I'm going to wait 6 months and get this. And then, of course, it was during Pinwist, so I was spending a lot of money anyway. But actually, it was on back order, so I don't think I picked it up till maybe October. But anyway, so our group just, when I mentioned her, hey, are we going to do Jeannette Douglas together? And she's like, yeah, let's do that. So we had, last night, I'm actually filming this segment on Friday the 9th. So last night when we met, we talked about doing this Jeannette Douglas project, and that it would be like a 2-year project, and the kind of fabrics that we would need to use, either Lugana or linen, and 32 count was what they used in the book. And so we were talking about doing, if we did 32 or if we did 36, or if you did 28, then it would have to be like slightly different margins, and you could probably do it, but it'd be more math. So I thought, well, I'd really like to do this on Lugana, and I have some 32 count Lugana, but I also have a lot of 28 count Lugana in my stash. But I was looking at my spreadsheet of fabrics, which, oh yeah, and there's stuff on the back. Oops. Oh yeah, I looked at the stuff on the back, and there's only one on the back that I picked. The others are like too dark. And we were kind of talking about, fabrics, and I was like, I want it to be colorful. I don't want it to be neutrals. And so, but it's such a big project. And my friend said, well, let's put it in, get a special project bag, like an overly large one, like the one I got at Pinwist. So I was like, good, because I was like, this is so big, I'm not going to use it for anything. But now I have something that actually needs it, which that's kind of like why we have stash. Is at the time we may not know what we need, but then later we find a need for it, or at least that's been in my experience. But of course I know what things I like, and so if I buy what I like, I'm gonna find a need for it eventually. So anyway, so I have my project bag, I have my book, and I've been kind of looking at the book, not reading too much into it yet. And then tonight, I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm going to do Lugana, do I have Lugana? Oh, that means I'm going to have to go to the shop. Am I going to have to? And I didn't want to go to the shop tomorrow because I wanted to work on my house some more. And I actually emptied a box today and filled up another Goodwill sack. So I want to make some more good progress on organizing my house, because that'll make me feel better. And so I basically went through my stash and I pulled 32 count Lugana, and or not Lugana, linen, because I had 32 count linen, and I had a lot of different linen pieces. So I'm going to show you the pieces that I've pulled. I was able to pull 7 pieces, which this one's big enough for 2 of the pages, and the rest of these are big enough for at least 1 of the pages. Like this one is just a scrap, and I was thinking originally, oh, I'll just do scraps, but my scraps are not that big, so this one might be able to do like the front page. I originally was also thinking, well, I won't do something that's like that big, so getting little pieces of the fabric on me, but then I was like, yeah, but then you need to put it together and finish it, and it's making the book. Stitching is not going to be the problem, okay? But making the book is going to be a lot of finishing. And I'm with my friends. We have varying levels of finishing experience, so we're going to be doing this together and having fun doing it. And that was the big message last night, was we're going to have fun doing this. This is not going to be like homework. This is going to be like, let's have fun with it. So let's, vary up our fabrics. Let's vary up our flosses, which I'll show you in a minute. So I pulled out, I went through, this spreadsheet is all of the fabrics I have that, onto the back, that don't have a project that they are promised to. I have 50-some projects that I have fabrics paired with the pattern, and in some cases they're in a project bag, in some cases they're just sort of in the white dresser, hopefully in the same drawer together, but they may not be. So, but I know, looking through these, and as I was going through all these fabrics, I was like, oh yeah, this one I've sort of promised, this one's been promised, set it aside. Oh, this one's not promised, but this one is what I had in my head using it for. And so if I had an idea of something to use it for, then I set it aside. And then I went through, after I picked the fabrics I'm going to show you, I went through my kitted up list and made sure that none of those names of the fabric were on the list. And there was one that I picked, which is very different from the ones I'm going to show you. And I thought, it's not really vibing with the rest of this stuff. And so I'm kind of on the fence about using this. This is Cedar River Spindrift. I got this at a class, and so, sorry, little bits of little strings from fabrics like this one are falling on me. So I'm kind of on the fence about actually using this. And, I thought, well, I could possibly use it for, I don't think it's big enough for the front and back cover. But anyway, and but it's 32 count, and it's 13 by 18, so it will make 1 page. But I don't want any of the pages to be neutral. You know me, I love color. So this is Orchid by Fiber on a Whim, and it's mostly purple with a really light model. And so again, 38 count linen. And then this is a fabric that I talked to you a little bit when I purchased it, which is Weeks Linen Watermelon. And this is a piece of fabric that sat in the shop calling to me for months, if not a year and a half, before I finally said, nobody's buying this. Jeannette needs to rotate. She needs someone to purchase this stock so she has room for more stuff that people will buy. And, so I felt it was my duty as a loyal customer and as someone who loves color to answer the call from this piece of fabric. So 32 count linen, watermelon. And then this one's Charlotte's Pink, and I have a number of pink fabrics, and this one just hadn't, it just hadn't found a pattern yet. I mean, I've got several patterns that I could use it for, but some of the other pinks I've already said, oh no, that pink's going for this other thing. So this one was sitting, languishing in the white dresser. And this is also a Weeks Charlotte's Pink, 32 count. And then I have, like I say, a scrap of Vintage Blue Whisper. This is linen. And it's Zweigart, but is one of those, it's one of those that it has a back side and a front side, and the front side has like the stamped pattern, which is this blue mottled, and the back is kind of a light blue, but it's not mottled. And I had a friend who used this fabric, and I think she had a Lugana version of it, and she stitched her whole thing and then looked at the back and realized she'd stitched the back of the fabric. She looked at the back of her stitching and realized that she'd stitched the back of the fabric, and so the back of her finished piece was the front of the fabric with all of the modeling on it. So, you know, she didn't want to redo the pattern. It looks beautiful anyway. I mean, she wanted the light blue fabric for it, so it worked. All right, and like I say, it's Zweigart Vintage Blue Whisper 32 count linen. And then this is something I got at Nashville. This is Fox and Rabbit 32 count linen, dragon fruit, just like the fruit. And it's kind of an odd pink color, and I love color, but when I bought it, I was like, I'm buying this because it's beautiful, but I don't really know what I'm going to use it for. And so now I do. And then this is a piece that is a really good sized piece that I'll be able to get at least 2 pages out of. This is actually something I bought this at Nashville 2023, Atomic Ranch Eucalyptus, and I was thinking I was going to use it for something, and then I decided to use a different fabric for that, and so I'll have to double check to make sure that that it is not on my kitted up spreadsheet as well. But I believe what happened is I had this, you know, paired with a pattern, and then I thought, no, I'm going to use something else for the, my friend Lisa with Salem Area Stitches, Lisa H, or Lisa from Tigard, as I've referred to her on the channel, she gave us some Lugana pieces that she didn't want, and that Lugana piece would work for the thing that I was going to stitch, or maybe I was going to use weathered stone for something, but then I decided weathered stone would go for that. Anyway, I did some swapping around, so this went back to the white dresser and was unclaimed. So I think this will work, and it is like a kind of a sage green with some sort of yellowy modeling, or kind of a khaki, sort of yellow to khaki color modeling, and so this will be good because I can use it for more than one page, and then if I've got 7 pieces and I've got 8 chapters and then front and back, so I probably need 10 pieces of fabric. And so, you know, this might work good for the front and back cover, or the first chapter and the last chapter, and then I've got 6 pieces or 5 pieces because I really don't want to use this that much. Haven't figured it out. But anyway, I was feeling really kind of, like I say, kind of depressed, because I was like, I don't want to go to Acorns and Threads tomorrow. Okay, that, you know, there's times when you have other things that you need to get done, and so you have more time for stitching on the weekend. Because if I get some things done in the house, then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to work on Wee Santa 23 and get that pattern a lot closer to finishing. And so the other thing I was going to show you is I went into my specialty floss box and I just pulled all the things like Pirate Robin, this is science fiction, Pirate Robin Moonlight, Pirate Robin Imperial Purple, which I showed on my last Flosstube, I think. Not the bonus one, but the last numbered one. And I pulled out like Mediterranean Sea and Confetti and Heatherly and Ladybug and azaleas, which I just purchased, but it was so lovely. And then Blackberry, which I've had in the stash for a long time. And then I was also like, well, you know, this is cotton, and I had bought at Pioneer Quilts this summer, or not this summer, this fall, I bought some Cosmo threads. So these are 3 out of the 5 or 6 Cosmo that I bought. So they are all going into this project bag to add to the fun. And I know that other people were talking about doing Pirate Robin on this book and using the fun colors, because we want to have fun with this. So we're going to be creative and fun and colorful and whimsical and use what we have, and try to use what we have in our stash. So anyway, that's one way to use your stash if you are wanting to have a big project. So anyway, back to the rest of the video. Okay, I don't know which button to press on my phone to keep things going, and this is like, maybe I'll just sit back. I'll try not to slouch. So you've seen how I'm using the Ice Bite prompts this month. You've seen my whips and my evaluation of how good I'm doing at this, which at this point seems not very, but a lot of good intentions, but I do want to finish that stupid Wee Santa. And so, and give it to Acorns and Threads to frame for me. So anyway, that is my Flosstube for the beginning of January. I'll have one at the end of January, which will be after our mini retreat. So I'll give some recap and highlights of that mini retreat. And then it's also the week that I'm hosting the stitching group at my house. So I have a lot of organization and cleaning yet to do. And it's coming along. I mean, the last time I filmed, I was feeling kind of down at the progress that I've made, and I still wish it was better. But, you know, it is what it is, and I'm feeling a little bit more positive, and I've been making concrete steps. And I'll be making some more this weekend because that's the time I have. So anyway, I hope that your winter or spring cleaning goes better, and that your stitching is going well. You know, I am getting stitching done, and I've really made a point this last year to get as many stitch days in during the month as possible, and I really would love to have a month where I could have, even if I just put 2 stitches, which is what I did last night, is I put 2 stitches in to the stupid Wee Santa, and then I did research on the sampler that I'm designing, which is not stitching, but it's cross-stitch adjacent, so it's going on the ledger as one of my cross-stitch activities. And got some good, you know, I read 3 chapters in a book, and I selected a few more things that will go on the sampler. Those of you who know me and have talked to me in person know what this sampler is about, but I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So I am making progress on selecting what is going to go on the sampler. But I have not gotten to, when I get to the end of this book, I think I'll have a much better list of what is going to go in each section. It's going to have 3 sections. The first section, I've already decided what's going in it. I still need to do some research for the first section to look at drawings and photos of things that will be made into cross-stitch motifs. Because I have an idea in my head of some of it, but I really need to get some inspiration for what the scientists have said those things look like. So that might be a hint. Anyway, happy stitching, and I hope that wherever you're at, your weather is better than ours. It's been too dry, it's been too warm, and right now, freezing fog. It's, a temperature inversion, so I'm staying inside. Although I did go outside this weekend and didn't have a problem, which kind of surprised me. So anyway, that's all, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.